The other day I was just thinking, man, can't wait to wear diapers. 'Cause I mean, once I turn into an old person, I just want to poop in my pants. What it do, y'all? Alright, so I'm gonna hit y'all in the face with another review of a movie that came out this week called The Boy Next Door. Now, what The Boy Next Door is about is it's about a high school literature teacher played by Jennifer Lopez. I know, stick with me. And she has a brief affair with a very sexy young man played by Ryan Guzman, who just so happens to be one of her students. But the weird thing is, at the time, technically, he's not one of her students, and the movie makes a big deal of him being, like, making sure you know he's 20 years old. So, everything's legal there, but it has a problem in the movie, so deal with it. She realizes that she had a brief lapse in judgment, and she regrets having a real good night with this young boy. And he doesn't regret it. In fact, he's obsessed with it, and he becomes a very crazy person with pictures of her in his garage and a printer. I don't know if the printer has anything. I just don't know anyone who has a printer in their garage. That's weird. There's one really obvious thing about this movie that stands out as completely terrible, and that is the performances. Ryan Guzman, who was in Step Up, All In, and I think he was in some other Step Up movies, correct me if I'm wrong, and he's not good. Not good. You see, the problem with him as this kind of crazy person is that he doesn't really sell crazy very well. Like, I mean, just because you can go like this with your eyes and get real close to people doesn't make you a crazy person. I mean, some of the actions he takes are definitely something a crazy person would do, but that's more in the writing and like what his character is, not his performance. And I'm talking about just his performance. From a performance standpoint, he's not a crazy person. In fact, when he started stalking Jennifer Lopez, I was like, oh, it's kind of sweet. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's nice. Because at first he is endearing as this kind of stalker person with spook-me-ups and whatnot. Jennifer Lopez was the one thing about this movie that I was actually holding out hope for. I had originally hoped that she'd save this film from being awful, but apparently she couldn't because it's awful. And she's weird. She's a weird person, and I'm gonna tell you why later, but trust me, she's a weird human being. It's not normal. Her son, played by Ian Nelson, who is actually 19 years old in real life. He plays like a high school student who's being bullied by the dude from Lemonade Mouth, so try to buy into that. Yeah, it's really just a cliche kid, and he turns in the worst performance in this film. And I don't accredit that to him. I accredit that to poor direction, because he's really early on in his career, and when someone's really early on in their career, they can be easily influenced or swayed one way by a director. And I think him being given poor direction here definitely contributed to a poor performance. And it's really hard to sell dialogue given to you in this fashion. It's dry, it's stupid, it's just dumb dialogue. There's no other way to put it. It's stupid. The characters in this film are one-dimensional, vapid. It's just like empty boxes that flow a story. It's like really sexy empty boxes that progress some sort of stupid plot forward toward one of the coolest endings ever. And I don't mean cool in like the Whiplash kind of way. I mean cool in like, it's real dumb. It's real dumb. This film was directed by Rob Cohen, who directed Triple X and The Fast and Furious, which are the only two good movies I've seen that he's directed. Because from that point, he started directing progressively worse films. He directed Stealth, he directed He directed Stealth, then he directed something else that was worse. I'm blanking on it right now. And then he directed Alex Cross, which I own because it was 99 cents, and I was like, I gotta watch this so I can laugh some more. And then I did. Also, Matthew Perry's good in that movie. I feel like this is the bottom of the barrel. The only way he can get lower is if he gets one of those things that people wear glasses and goes and he burns a hole in the bottom and then starts digging because you can't get below the bottom of the barrel. Lucky for him, it's only up from here, right? This film is written by Barbara Curry, or Curé. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't care. This is her first writing gig. I'm very understanding of like when someone's writing a film for the first time, it's not going to be as fluid as if it was your 27th time. I understand that, and I respect that, but it's real bad. It feels like she sat down with some wine and she watched a bunch of Lifetime original movies and then was like, you know what? I got an idea. I'm going to write a movie about a stalker who doesn't really need to be a stalker because he's a neighbor. Aha! Genius. The entire first act of this film is comprised of people just stating the obvious. For example, there's a scene where the garage door breaks, God knows why, and then Jennifer Lopez's son comes out. I believe the line is literally, "The garage door is broken." That's the kind of difficult dialogue that Ian Nelson is saddled with, and I understand that. I'm not gonna fault him for that. I fault none of these actors for their terrible performances because I don't think I could give a good performance if I was told to state the obvious. I mean, no one does it. No one talks the way the people in this movie do. And then the second act of this film is completely comprised of either Ryan Guzman's character being weird and creepy in a kind of endearing sort of way at first, and then creepy shots of Jennifer Lopez looking at him through her window. I'm gonna spoil some for you, so if you don't want to be spoiled on this dumb movie that I don't recommend you see in the first place, so if you do go see it, then you don't listen to people's advice and you're not a nice person. There's a scene where Jennifer Lopez is looking at the window and she sees a real nude boy, and there's some booty, and he turns around and he's still naked, and then he walks towards the window and she's like, "Oh, you caught me." And that same shot, if you've seen the movie poster, you know what I'm talking about. The movie poster is her looking out the window. That happens about 7 times in this movie, and it's of her just creeping on him. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to have to recommend that you avoid this film at every possible cost. If you have to run down the block and do jumping jacks multiple times, and then tie your shoelaces together, trip down so you don't have to go see this movie, then do that. I don't know why you do that, but it's a thing you might do. I'm just, like, relating to you, though. Like that's the thing, that's the thing you do, then, like, do. So thanks for watching. I hope you will not go see this movie. And I hope you enjoyed the video that I have uploaded to YouTube for your viewing purposes. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, or evening if you're watching this at night. I hope you will check out my last video, which is a Gone Girl Blu-ray review. That's it. Have you ever seen a boy melt?